I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Shocking news. R. Kelly's fiancée, Joshelyn, breaks her silence. Also, the judge rebuffs efforts to overturn his conviction. Salute to the chat. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to my moderators. Let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, many would like to know exactly what does it mean for the judge to rebuff the efforts to overturn his conviction. All right. Now, it says when a judge rebuffs a case, it means they have refused or rejected it in an abrupt or blunt manner. It's essentially a stern refusal or dismissal of the case or a particular motion or plea within the case. It says this can happen for various reasons, including lack of merit. The judge may determine that the case or motion doesn't have sufficient legal grounds to proceed. Procedural issues, the case might be improperly filed, or there may be violations of court rules. Irrelevant evidence, the judge may refuse to consider evidence deemed irrelevant to the case's outcome. Then it says lack of impartiality. If a judge has a conflict of interest or it's otherwise unable to preside fairly, they might rescue themselves or, in some cases, rebuff the case to another judge. And it gives some examples. I'll read one of the examples. One of the examples is a judge might rebuff a plea deal offered by the prosecution and defense if they believe it isn't in the best interest of justice or is based on inaccurate information. The Supreme Court has rebuffed efforts by certain parties to overturn a conviction as seen in the R. Kelly case. Now, there's consequences to this. So consequences of a judge rebuffing a case. The case may be dismissed or sent back to a lower court with instructions for further proceedings. The parties may need to renegotiate a plea deal or prepare for trial if a judge rejects a settlement agreement. Then it says appellate courts may review a judge's decision to rebuff a case if it's believed they acted improperly or abused their discretion. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to be going back to the motion that the attorney for R. Kelly has filed. I'm going to start at page 9. I'm going to start at page 9 and read what's in that motion. But I want to switch lanes to Joshelyn, and that's R. Kelly's fiancée. Now, according to Joshelyn, her and R. Kelly has been together for 10 years. So they were together when he was free on the streets. Now, she caught a lot of backlash. A lot of people, really wasn't feeling her. Her mom and her dad have had some choice words to say about her as well. But let's switch lanes to R. Kelly's fiancée, Joshelyn.
Everyone, my name is Joshelyn Savage. I'm 29 years old, and I'll be 30 next month. I just want to come out here shortly to let you guys know that I am not a victim. I've been with Robert for 10 years. He has been incarcerated for 6 years, and I have seen him every weekend for the past 6 years. Just 3 years ago, I proposed to Robert, and he said yes. And we are planning on getting married and having a family, and I'm very excited about that. But anyways, I just want to come out here and let you guys know to please do not believe the lies that my mother and father are coming out here saying about me and Robert. I am not held against my will. I am not a sex slave. I am not brainwashed or any of those crazy lies that were told on me.
Now, I know many of you is going to say, what is making her stand by R. Kelly? Well, obviously, she sees something. Obviously, she knows something that we don't know. Now, I got another demonstration coming up right after this demonstration at 11:45. I did a lot of backtracking, and I got a demonstration coming up right after this. So make sure you all hang around for my second demonstration. And that demonstration is Sparkle should have been left R. Kelly after R. Kelly said this to her. This R. Kelly case goes deep down the rabbit hole. Appreciate that Super Sticker podcast. Appreciate you joining the Rock Squad, Marianne. And see, for me, it's the little things, right? Appreciate that Super Sticker podcast. It's the little things that go over our heads that we're not paying attention to. But we'll get into Sparkle and her situation with R. Kelly on the next demonstration. But back to the fiancé, Joshelyn. Now, let me get y'all opinion on this, all right? Because I want to make sure I keep you guys involved, and I want to make sure we are all on the same page. Drop a one if you feel like R. Kelly has brainwashed Joshelyn. Let me see all the ones for those that feel like R. Kelly has brainwashed Joshelyn. Drop a 2 if you think that he didn't. Appreciate those 3 Super Stickers podcasts. Appreciate them Super Stickers podcasts. Appreciate that super chat, Marianne. Marianne says Sparkle said 2 years ago. All right. Salute, Shantae. So we got some ones. We got a 1.5. We got some ones. Marie, I see you, Marie. Marie, Lady of Faith, Jacqueline. Alicia dropped the 1.5. Appreciate the Super Sticker podcast. See, for me, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, ladies. Just like the song that R. Kelly made when a woman's fed up, but before that woman is fed up, she's going to give you her all. She's going to give you her all. Now with Joshelyn, she been around. She was there when all of these things was going on. Joshelyn has been around for 10 years. 4 years of R. Kelly being on the streets. So why is she sticking by him? Just a food for thought. I don't know half, yeah, other than I wouldn't have been the one to propose though. You wouldn't have did that Diamond Star? How do y'all feel about a woman proposing? How do y'all feel about a woman proposing? Diamond Star and the rest of you ladies, do y'all think that it's not traditional? Do y'all think that it's not classy for a woman to propose to a man? Do y'all think that it's the man's responsibility or the man, you know, is his job? What are y'all thoughts? Let's go. Have you seen us? Talanda says, I ain't. Talanda, I feel you. Talanda says, ain't no way in the world I'm proposing to no funky ass man. I feel you, Talanda. Alicia says, Hell to the nah, Shank Rock. Those funky ass men, I would never propose to them. Capricorn says women should never propose. Capricorn and the rest of y'all that feel that way, why do y'all feel that a woman, talk to me, Capricorn Chronicles, why do you feel that a woman should never propose? Marianne says it's giving pick me. Royal says nope. Diamond says it's not desperate, it's just wrong. Marie says, Shank, this been ever since childhood. R. Kelly had her under him. He has been covered under him with brainwash. How many of y'all agree with Marie? Do y'all think R. Kelly has been brainwashing her? These soft ninjas want you to put them on princess treatment. I just ain't. Will you do what? No way. No, not right. And especially if he's locked up, he can't do nothing. Now I could understand that part. Now I could rock with that. I don't think that. Well, I guess it depends on what they locked up for, and I guess it depends on how much time they got, and I guess it depends on the circumstances. Like that that case with the 60-year-old woman out there in California, how she was married to that inmate that had life without parole. That inmate wasn't never coming home, and that inmate ended up taking her life. So it just depends. But I'm with y'all as far as when a man is locked up, ain't nothing he can do for you. So I feel you. I feel you, Tay. I feel now things have changed. Not at all. Salute, Kahila. A man findeth a wife, and I don't know the Bible like that. I hear you, Alicia. No way, no how propose to who? Podcast says it's mind control that he has over her. You think it's mind control? I could take that, podcast. Salute, Mel. Capricorn says, I will count the crystals in the sand before I propose to a man. However, a man chooses his wife from what I was told, not the other way around. And that is correct, Capricorn Chronicles. Biblical scriptures can back it up, and that's the traditional way. So I agree with you, Capricorn. Kenya says possible. Salute, Leslie. Royal says the Bible says a man that finds a woman finds a good thing. Paraphrasing, of course. I'm with you, Royal. Lana says, right. Lady of Faith says, yes, because she was a very young girl. I feel he manipulated her. Jennifer says, she been around forever. She like what he like. Well, she planned on having a family, so she preferred to propose to him. All right. That's the problem. Everyone wants to stray away from traditional. I feel you, T-Lady. Salute, T-Lady. I have never been on my knees and never will. All right. How's she going to have a family? Because he got 30 years. And that's just state. I mean, not state. That's just with the feds. But he do have an open state case, I believe. But that's 30 years with the feds. And he going to bring that to the door. He going to do every bit of 27 years on that 30 with the feds.
And I just want Robert to get the righteous justice that he deserves, because he deserves to be free. Enough is enough. I'm tired, and he's tired as well. So I just want you guys to continue to please pray for him. I'm praying for him. I believe that he will be out soon. I have hope. And just, you guys, please, just do not be believe the lies, because enough is enough. It's been 6 years, and I'm just tired. I choose not to call my mother and father because I do not want to talk to them. I have a cell phone, and I choose not to call them. So I'm a grown woman, and if I decide not to call them, that's my choice. And it is what it is. So once again, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm in love, and I'm good. So thank you guys for listening. Have a Great day. Bye.
Well, they do say love is blind, right? They do say love is blind. Now, I'm going to be getting into I'm going to be getting back into the motion of a new trial and what we learned from the first 8 pages that I read, that the government was basically stretching the law, bending the law. Now, we know that Jane won, and we know that there's a Jane NY. Now, the Jane 1 was used as well as Jane NY, and they were handpicked, right? So if what we know that's in the motion of a new trial, and now even with the recent medical emergency that R. Kelly is facing, the blood clots in his lungs, blood clots in his legs. Not only did they refuse immediate surgery, they put him back in solitary confinement. I mean, it's already rough as it is to be incarcerated, but it's even more rougher when you in solitary confinement, you know. But let's tap back into the motion of a new trial. In my opinion, those 8 pages that I read warrants a new trial for R. Kelly. Now we're going to tap into some more of this motion, and I believe that it's going to be page 9. All right. And then I'll come down to the chat. This is an open discussion. If anybody would like to join me on the panel, please feel free to join me on the panel once I drop the link. So it says, when Jane got to California, the person who met her was Larry McGee. McGee took her to residence. At that residence, McGee introduced Jane to Jane NY. He then proceeded to talk to them both extensively about why they should testify against Robert Kelly and all of the government would do for them if they did. McGee showed Jane and Jane NY stolen emails and letters that were sent from Robert Kelly to his lawyer. Jane saw the letters and remembers them explicitly. Those letters reference Mr. Kelly's relationship with another woman that was neither Jane nor Jane NY. These letters and emails engendered anger in both Jane and Jane NY. They began to talk about how Mr. Kelly had been secretly having relationships with each of them behind the other's back. This conversation and the review of the letters between Robert and his lawyer compelled Jane to become extremely angry at Mr. Kelly. Jane has indicated that she would never have testified against Mr. Kelly at trial had she not had this discussion with Jane NY and had she not seen the letters and messages between Mr. Kelly and his lawyer. As a result of this conduct, Larry McGee was rewarded with a cooperation agreement from the government in an incredibly light sentence of 18 months despite federal charges. His sentencing transcript was redacted, So no one would know what he did or how he obtained the material to influence Jane and Jane NY. Exhibit C. Jane has confirmed that it was McGee who put her and Jane NY together in Los Angeles. It was McGee who showed them letters and emails between Mr. Kelly and his lawyer. Jane knows this because she experienced it. The government thought they hid their illicit conduct behind a sealed sentencing transcript to which Mr. Kelly and his defense team have been denied access. But Jane's personal experience exposes them anyway. So with McGee, now his information, his testimony had been redacted. And if you've been following the Shanquella Robinson case, that's a major problem that the family and the attorney is facing with the FBI and their investigation. They released X amount of papers. They released the information. However, it was a lot of the pages was redacted. Now it goes on to say, now this is page 10. All of this information about stolen communications being given to cooperating witness Larry McGee by prosecutors was kept from the defense. The theft of Mr. Kelly's legal mail by his cell buddy and its provision to prosecutors was kept from the defense. The meeting between the two primary witnesses in the New York and Chicago cases, which was facilitated by a cooperating witness working for the U.S. attorneys from whom he sought a reduced sentence, was kept from the defense. During Mr. Kelly's trial in New York, prosecutors advised his attorneys that they had just been made aware of an investigation into a theft of some of Mr. Kelly's communications. The prosecutors said the investigation was ongoing and they had no other information to provide. They contended to have no knowledge of who had stolen the communication and what was done with them. When Mr. Kelly asked to have time to investigate to see if this theft could influence the case against him, prosecutors claimed they had no other information to provide. None of that was true. In reality, at the time, federal prosecutors in New York claimed a lack of knowledge about the investigation of stolen communication. The truth was that a search warrant for Tawana Ingram's home and electronic devices had already been executed. The application for that warrant identified undeniable evidence that she stole Mr. Kelly's communications. The search of her residence confirmed it. All of that information was in the possession of federal prosecutors who denied having it. Also in their possession was the attorney-client mail stolen by the cell buddy of R. Kelly, which was used by McGee to influence witnesses against Mr. Kelly. This too was hidden from Mr. Kelly and his lawyers. Consequently, Mr. Kelly lacked the ability to attack the central witness against him based on a bias that was intentionally generated through the use of privileged communications stolen by a federal officer and trafficked to a cooperating informant by federal prosecutors and agents, and legal mail stolen by a cellmate working for the government. Y'all gonna have to talk to me. It's something wrong. So you mean to tell me with all of this that then came out, all of this, and the judge still refuses to grant R. Kelly a new trial? R. Kelly's case is deep. If people read listen and go down the rabbit hole. That's facts. With Diddy case coming out, I found out the industry is something else. Facts. Facts. Jennifer, they sick as you know what. Salute, Tracy. They railroad them. But see, if you only go by what you hear, if you only go by what's presented in the media, and if you don't do your homework, that's why I thank all the teachers. I thank all my teachers that gave me homework. Because one thing about homework, you're going to investigate. We definitely will reap what we sow. It doesn't say how we'll reap it. The system is corrupt. It's sad. It's sad. Now, we're down a rabbit hole. All right? We're down a rabbit hole. Nicole says it really is. Tanya says facts. We're down a rabbit hole. Is R. Kelly guilty of any crimes? That's one question that need to be answered. What crimes did he commit? If you're going to bring charges against R. Kelly, you have to prove that he's guilty of the charges that you're bringing in front of him. And they ain't. Through the course of history, the government ain't done a damn thing to help us. Don't ever forget that. And that's facts. So now you got R. Kelly. His crime, I'm going to tell y'all what his crime is. His crime is a crime of morals, right? His crime has nothing to do with what he's in prison for. He's guilty of being a player. Not guilty of what he was charged with. Not at all, Natasha. Not at all. Fact, Shank. But y'all see how they use this. When they want you, y'all see how they just sit, lay in the bushes on you. And when that opportunity comes, when opportunity presents itself, here they come. Here they come. And most of the times, they're going to use folks that you fed. They're going to use folks that you show love to. They're going to use some folks that is close to you to bring you down. Now, that's a whole nother demonstration. You know, some people might say, but Shank, he's guilty. He had all those women living in his house. And that's why I want y'all to make sure y'all, because this is going to be a short demonstration. This is not going to be a long demonstration, because I need to get to my second demonstration. That is, Sparkle should have left R. Kelly a long time ago. And if y'all been following the case, y'all going to know. Y'all probably already know what I'm talking about. But Sparkle ain't as innocent as Sparkle claimed to be. Because after what was said, now keep in mind, when R. Kelly said this to Sparkle, this was in the beginning of their situation. That stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm listening to Sparkle, and she's saying Yeah, you know, he said this, woo-de-woo, woo-de-woo, woo, 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 woo. And they asked her, your people ain't do nothing. You ain't do nothing. You ain't stop dealing with him. And this is what we are all missing in these cases like this. You know, and when it comes to the fiance, many of y'all feel like she brainwashed. I just, maybe because I'm not a woman. Maybe because I'm not a woman, so I don't understand how women think. Maybe that's what it is. But in certain incidents, because see, they all knew that R. Kelly was their meal ticket. It's not none of them that was involved in this R. Kelly's case that didn't look at R. Kelly as their meal ticket. All of them. They all knew. He the meal ticket. He the bag. I'ma accept whatever it is. As long as I'm getting the bag. As long as I'm riding off the clout. But this motion of the motion of a new trial, he should be granted a new trial. Drop a 4 if y'all feel like he should be granted a new trial. Drop a 4 for me. If you feel like he deserves a new trial. It goes on to say, federal prosecutors and agents and legal mail stolen by a cellmate working for the government who trafficked the letters to prison officers who gave it to federal prosecutors who then provided it to a cooperating witness that will bring Jane and JNY together to collude against Mr. Kelly at his urging. It says the cell buddy provided the information in his declaration in the presence of a certified interpreter and the undersigned associate, Edward McDavid. On March the 11th, 2025, Mr. David and the interpreter discussed with the cell buddy of R. Kelly the execution of a written statement summarizing some of the information that was provided at their prior meeting. The cell buddy ultimately signed a statement which was also executed by the certified interpreter to demonstrate that it was fully and accurately translated for the cell buddy prior to its execution. A copy of that signed statement is attached to this filing, Exhibit B, along with the resume of the certified interpreter, Exhibit D. In that written statement, the cell buddy again submitted the theft of Mr. Kelly's attorney's client correspondence, the transfer of that stolen correspondence to an SIS officer, Officer Luke Selby at MCC, and the ultimate provision of that stolen correspondence to AUSA call. The cell buddy also indicated that prosecutors in his case asked him why he was being visited by attorneys from the undersigned office even before Mr. McDavid obtained his signed statement. At the point this signed statement was obtained, the undersigned office had in its possession a signed admission from an insider who confessed his role in a conspiracy to violate the constitutional rights of Mr. Kelly and bias witness against him through the use of stolen privilege information. This was a conspiracy to obstruct justice carried out in jailers and the cooperating witness they used to do their bidding. This conspiracy involved the Bureau of Prisons and was orchestrated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. By his own admission, they directed the cell buddy to do the same thing that Tawana Ingram was given access to do when she stole private emails and calls made and sent by Mr. Kelly to his lawyer. Special investigation officers in the Bureau of Prisons were the ones handling the stolen correspondence in both instances. Ingram's theft has been documented and is undisputed. Wow. Wow, you can't make this up. So they know all of this took place. In this case, McGee's and the cell buddy of R. Kelly's involvement was hidden rather than disclosed. McGee's influence over Jane and Jane NY was denied rather than acknowledged. In a letter to his attorney in the Chicago case, the government claimed no knowledge about any stolen correspondence being shown to a witness. Exhibit E. That was a lie. Jane's recollection of her personal experiences will prove that the government did know. They knew McGee was there. They knew McGee would be showing Jane and Jane NY certain documents. It strains cruelty to try to fathom how the prosecutors could claim not to have known. The stolen mail was given by the cell buddy to BOP officers who participated in the theft to federal prosecutors. They knew exactly what was happening. They were using stolen attorney mail and cooperating witnesses to influence the two witnesses they most needed to testify against Robert Kelly in the two respective cases. Unfortunately for the government, McGee's disclosures on social media exposed his conduct after the fact. The old cell buddy of R. Kelly recent admissions proved that the government had intentionally violated the rights of Mr. Kelly and illicitly tainted witnesses against him. The government hid this truth beneath pages of blacked out redactions in McGee's sentencing transcript and behind the undisclosed behavior of secret cooperating witnesses. The old cell buddy of R. Kelly, but Jane's memory of the events and the old cell buddy's recent declarations betrayed government counsel and revealed the truth. Just 4 days after Mr. McDavid obtained the signed statement, the old cell buddy of R. Kelly, including these admissions, Mr. Kelly was contacted by a prison official at FCI Butner. Wow. Let me try to catch some of y'all comments. Even the judges in his cases were corrupt. Facts. I have issues with the parents. Y'all hate that man so bad, and he has done nothing to any of y'all or these victims for profit. Do your research and get the facts. Salute, Maria. This rabbit hole goes deep. Exactly. R. Kelly and Diddy abused their power, so they should just go and lay down. You are busted. Now, let's chop it up about that. Did R. Kelly abuse his power? Drop a 6 if you feel like R. Kelly abused his power. Drop a 7 if you disagree. I feel like he abused his power. However, people abuse their power all the time. Now, if is abusing one's power, is that a crime? I don't see it nowhere on the books. It's bigger than R. Kelly, itty bitty ditty. I think these shenanigans started with Clive Davis and Quincy Jones. I'm just saying, as soon as he asked for his masters, the BS started. Facts. That's facts. So if they were broken, would make this less of a crime. Jennifer be for them too. McGee told on himself. Yes. Yes. Salute Miamis. I ain't saying I'm a gold digger, but I ain't messing with no broke ninja. Talk to us, Alicia. I see a 6. All you have to do is listen. I mean, it's in the motion of the new trial now. It's in black and white. I'm reading it to y'all. Whole case was manufactured, and that's a fact. You know, they definitely railroad him. I'm keeping it 100. They definitely railroad him. I love my brother from another mother. He and I share the same birthday, and Elvis. The government abused their power every day. That's facts, Natasha. Thing is, R. Kelly was a Casanova, and Diddy is just the Chester molester. He told them up front he had women because they were living in there with him. So you can't get mad at the player. You can't hate the player. You got to hate the game. Them women knew. They knew his skilo. So, and they was with it. Salute, Nene. He could have only abused his power if someone lets him. That's another good point, Nene. What power? Money, influence. Clive Davis has been doing this for a long time. Phyllis Hyman. That's facts. This stuff has been going on since the beginning. 30s, 40s, 50s. And they are passing out the alphabet. Yes, sir. R. Kelly wanted his own ish that goes against the rules. And that's all this is about. That's all this is about. Facts. He wanted what was his. He wanted complete control over what is his. As he should. It's his. It's his. And especially when you are as talented as R. Kelly. Just R. Kelly being a writer alone. And think of all the many hits that he wrote for other people. R. Kelly got a mean resume. I mean, a mean, long resume. He deserved it. He deserved it. I'm going to read a little bit more of this motion of a new trial. I'm going to drop the link if anybody want to join me on the panel. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The biggest money heist in the history of the industry. Don't forget Playboy Mansion wasn't no different. Exactly. Barry Hankerson said he was going to get him after he left him. That's facts. Endless hits. R. Kelly got me through my teenage years and adulthood. R. Kelly, in my opinion, solo artist, R. Kelly is the greatest solo artist in R&B. I ain't talking about group. I'm talking about solo. Some might say Neo. You could put Neo up against R. Kelly because Neo is mean. Neo got a mean pen game, you know. But outside of Neo, maybe Prince and Neo. would probably be the closest ones, but in my book, I give it to R. Kelly. I give it to R. Kelly hands down. Like when I listen to his music, when I watch him, you know, and I've never been a player hater. I'll be like, that's a bad MFer right there. So Kels is the OG baby maker. Salute GG. Neo, hell nah. I will never take away from R. Kelly's talent, but at the same time, he did mess with a child, and he does like to manipulate young girls. I feel you, Miss Minnie. I feel you. Facts. They came after him. This man had a whole movie chronicle and song version. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Alicia. Exactly. So you're going to jail or unalive, period. Just look at all those deaths of people. It's always somebody that was ready to tell everything they're doing off screen. Exactly, Jen. It's a marriage, a marriage, Shank. Now, you know, Eartha, I cannot pronounce them strange words. Why you trying to set me up, Eartha? Huh? You know I can't pronounce strange words like that. He says, nobody does R&B better than Kels, and they know it. That's facts. That's facts. The last album, Black Panties, was the ish. Bad man. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. So, in my opinion, we've got to look at it like this. When it comes to the women, my opinion, they saw it as a money grab. Definitely was a bag. You know, this a come up. And then not only that, it's R. Kelly. So Kelly says Elvis was worse. Facts. But Elvis never went to prison, did he, Kelly? How old was Priscilla? Was she 12 or 14 when Elvis married Priscilla? One of the best concerts I've ever attended. He, Tyler Perry, the GOAT. You got my husband in your bushes. Shout out to Novi's husband for being in my bushes. Give me a minute, Mel. I can respect that, Miss Minnie. That ninja is that ish. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be trying to get backstage. I feel you, Alicia. Like Biggie said, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. All right, Eartha, let's go, Eartha. Not at all. If he wanted girls, why is it only the same females from 2008 trial? Good point. Okay, so she was 14. Slide in, Mel.
Oh, Shay, I just come up because sometimes I be listening to you and reading the chat, even though I'm doing something else as well. And I think what gets me is that it's so many other charges. Like somebody said that he was testing a molester, and I'm like, who did he molest?
Right.
I could have sworn Cassie was what, 19? She's grown. And she snaked her way into Diddy life if you go back and listen to the story. Because she was actually with the producer that introduced her to Diddy. She was with him. And then she snaked her way, lied to him, made her way to Miami to party with the man that had the money, right? Mm-hmm. That had the attention. And I think, I guess when you be and you listen to these stories and, they've already set the story up, right? If that video of Cass at the hotel had never been released, Diddy would have never went to trial.
Nope.
They used that. And unfortunately, Diddy's a regular person. He's a celebrity. He's a regular person. But he's not the only, abuser out there in this world. Domestic violence abuser, I guess that's what you call them. And I always feel like all this could have been nipped in the bud if somebody just would have called the local police.
Mm-hmm.
Not all police could be bought. Not all police are corrupt. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I would have waited till he was chilling out in the Caracos Islands and went to the police of anything. If anybody felt like that was their life that was so terrible. Wait till this joke in the Caracos or wherever he was going all around the world.
Mm.
But I think to me a lot of those women wanted to be around the world with Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And this is the crazy part about some of this is that none of them live with them. That's the crazy part about it. Like,
Right.
how can you be like in a situation that you can't get out of, but you don't even live under the same roof?
Right.
You guys got your own what? Cassie had an apartment in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
and then when she went to California, she had a place there. She wasn't even living with them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about all the FOs and stuff, they never said that he participated in any of that. Like he didn't. I don't know. I just want to make sure I can use the right word on the panel. So just bear with me while I think about what I'm saying. He wasn't intimate with them or the people that was coming to the party. So that's why it's all kind of muddy. But these guys are worth billions and are owed billions by the record industry.
Mm.
So I know Dana J spoke of the Dana J spoke of last night the one person I think in the Carol's case that where she got and this is what's crazy, and I want everybody to pay attention to what he said that they gave her. She got a Section 8 place in California, $3,700 in food stamps and $20 million. Why do you need to be living on Section 8 getting food stamps with $20 million?
Mm.
What sense does that make? I digress.
You're right, Mel. I'm going to read just a little bit more of this motion of new trial because I got to get prepared for the next demonstration about Sparkle. Like I said, I'm sure you all have heard what took place. Now, when I backtracked it and I heard it, I said, wow, this went over my head. Yeah, make sure y'all misspelling y'all words when it comes to the profanity, y'all. Make sure y'all misspell those profanity words. The setup was real right in our face. I know that's crazy. Listen, Shank, it's all BS because I'm from Chicago, and if I ever ran into R. Kelly and he wanted these drawers, I would have dropped them, even when I was a teenager. That's R. Kelly. Hey, she kept it 100. And once again, that's all I'm saying. We talking about R. Kelly. You can't sit up here and tell me that that man done what they said that he done. It's nowhere in the world. They were dropping their panties. The parents, the uncles, they were handing their children, their nieces, they were handing them girls over to R. Kelly. Here, do what you please. Make them a star. And Mel, and we all have to be honest, younger females getting with older guys, it's nothing new. This been going on for ages.
Forever.
I mean, and ladies, correct me if I'm wrong. When I would ask the ladies, well, what do you see in him? Why you won't get with me? He all old. They would always say, older men are mature. So we can't sit up here and act like, even with Baby Oil Man. Now, as everything starts to come out, Cassie was a co-conspirator. Yes or no, Mel?
Cassie had more to do with her situation than people want to accept. She had more to do with her situation than people want to accept, because we have to look at it this way. And I can throw some names out there to you guys, and it'll probably be like an aha moment. She said, okay, she wanted to make a record, and I think she may have made it a record. She wanted her album to come out. But I'm gonna have to be totally honest with you. I don't think Diddy really saw her as an artist. Like, I don't mean an artist, but to be an artist, especially a solo artist, it takes more than good looks. You have to have that je ne sais quoi. Like, Aaliyah was the complete package. Maya was the complete package. There were Mary J. She's a complete package. Just because a person can sing does not make them a complete package. I'll give you a one that a lot of people probably love. Jennifer Hudson can sing her rocks off, but a solo artist, like somebody I would just pay a ticket to go see, because she don't have that star factor to me, as far as like, I'm going to pay money to go to a Jennifer Hudson concert. I just wouldn't. And so that was kind of like where you saw a lot of female artists that you liked during the day, how they faded out. Blue Cantrell. Who remembers Blue Cantrell? Carrie Hilson. Remember Carrie Hilson?
Mm-hmm.
Look how those girls just faded out. Because they may have made a record or an album, but they didn't have the sustainability of an artist. And when you dealt with the artists, mainly in the South, the female artists, they weren't with the stuff that was going on in Hollywood. To me, one of my favorite artists is Trina. I love Trina. Trina was big, but you go to Miami, and Trina is Miami. But she was never on award shows and getting Grammys and all that, because she didn't fit them. They wasn't feeding into the whole Hollywood kind of situation that they was going on. They kind of stayed in their own lane. So Cassie wanted it that bad, and she was willing to do anything to get it. But when it came to Puff, and whether y'all know it or not, he had a very, very good eye for talent. That's why they started their situation of him long time ago. People just don't realize it, because they already knew. The people that's controlling the industry already knew that he had it, because the way he viewed talent. So Cassie might have had a cute face, and maybe she had a good voice, but she didn't have that sustainable star power. And that's why we don't have Aaliyah. Because Aaliyah's own selfish uncle was like, wait, hold on. I said you up with Kels, and then he was trying to work out that whole little marriage thing. He was trying to sell this whole thing. But Aaliyah, she made the first album with R. Kelly, and it wasn't that she didn't respect who he was. She just had other plans for herself, because she was a real artist. So she went to Missy and Timberland because she wanted a different sound than what R. Kelly. The first album was good for her, but she wanted a different sound. So she left, and her own uncle. And so all those girls that was set up around Diddy, all that was arranged by Hankins. And then when R. Kelly fired him as a manager for trying to shake him down, he spent all that time coming after him. But none of those girls were really underage. They were being taken to him by their parents. That was a whole big, it was almost what we can say like a Ponzi scheme. And when the money start, when the money stopped, they put it all down on it. Because if you're a big celebrity, whoever it is, whether you're a female or because a lot of celebrities, they become introverts. They do have a lot of people around them living in their houses because they don't want to be alone in those big houses they buy. But they have a lot of people, not, I'm not saying an extreme amount, but they have a team of people that's around them all the time. So if R. Kelly had this big old house and all these girls wanted to get into the industry, and that was really his business. So the only thing that these cases are doing is exposing their intimate parts of their life, which it's nobody's business. I'm just saying.
No, you're right. Appreciate that membership, Melanie. Appreciate that membership. Appreciate the super chat, Tanya. Tanya says, much appreciated for all you do, Shank Rock. Appreciate that. I'm going to go to a little bit more of this motion of new trial, and then we're going to get out of here. Salute a justice. Salute. Now, we're going on to page 13. It says the official in question advised Mr. Kelly that he got a call and that they, meaning the government, knew that his lawyers in Chicago had been meeting with a witness in jail and that this witness had provided information to the lawyers. The official then advised Mr. Kelly that he was in danger and that Mr. Kelly needed to be careful. The BOP official intimidated. No, let me see. The BOP official intimated that Mr. Kelly was not safe in Bureau of Prisons custody. The BOP official further advised that Mr. Kelly should avoid the mess hall. This official wishes to remain anonymous. His identity is known to the defense and can be provided to the court in camera if needed after the issue of recusal has been addressed. And I believe that that's the white supremacist, the inmate from the Aryan Brotherhood. It says, in the wake of this troubling dialogue with a prison official on April the 11th, 2025, an inmate incarcerated with Mr. Kelly approached him and disclosed that he was sent to FCI Butner by BOP officials who directed him to unalive Mr. Kelly. The inmate's name is McKeel Glenn Stein. He is a member of the Aryan Brotherhood gang. He has been in Bureau of Prisons custody since 1982, with one brief interruption generated by his escape. While incarcerated, he rose to the position of commissioner of the Aryan Brotherhood. He has signed a declaration setting forth a long history of assaults and unalivings that he has ordered and participated in at the direction of Bureau of Prison officials. Exhibit F. Inmates who pose problems for Bureau of Prison staff and or inmates with whom staff members were engaged in illegal business were attacked and or killed by members of the Aryan Brotherhood, AB. As commissioner of the AB, Mr. Stein directed members of the AB to commit these acts. In exchange, he and other AB members received special privileges, including no cell searches and the ability to traffic narcotics within the prisons without interference. Mr. Stein indicated that a prison official who has overseen multiple BOP facilities solicited his participation in multiple unalivings and assaults. This official's name is Rashay Childress. Mr. Stein had many interactions with Childress while incarcerated at the ADX Florence Supermax facility. Wow. So they put a hit on R. Kelly through the AB, the Aryan Brotherhood. But y'all see that, to me, that shows how bad R. Kelly is, because in situations like that, they would have carried out the hit. But I think that the respect that Aryan Brotherhood have for R. Kelly and his music, he couldn't go through with it. It's sad. This case is sad. Any last words before we get out of here, Mel?
No, it is sad, and we can only pray that his case is reheard, because names must be named. We can't, all the Jane Does and anonymous people, that lets you know right there there's something going on. If it's true, then let us know who you are.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say, Shane.
Appreciate you, Mel. Once again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Thanks for all the support. Make sure y'all pull back up at 11:45. Make sure y'all go get y'all drinks, go get y'all smokes, whatever it is that you all have, and pull back up at 11:45 for this demonstration. She should have been left. Now, this demonstration that I'm going to be doing at 11:45, you can't make this ish up. Like, what I heard, and I'm saying to myself, so you mean to tell me he said this and you still hung around? Make sure y'all get y'all drinks so y'all can come back as a bunch of funky asses. And by the way, 11:45 Eastern time, Marianne, less than about 40 something minutes, about 30 something minutes. Come back in 30 minutes. By the way, I don't do these all-nighters no more. Y'all funky asses got me staying up late at night now. That's Miss Parker's job. Staying up all late. All right? So y'all make sure y'all bring y'all funky asses back in less than 45 minutes. All right? Where is Andrea Kelly funky ass? Thanks, Shank. I'll be in the bushes. Appreciate you. So I'll see all y'all funky asses and my funky ass too now, because my funky ass ain't got no business being up this late. Y'all know normally I go live at 10 o'clock. By 11:30, I'm finished. By 11:45, I'm asleep. So tonight, I'm being a funky ass right along with y'all by staying up past my bedtime. But I'll see everybody back in 30 minutes. Waiting to go live at 11:45. Sparkle.